everyone in San Francisco. Thank you for joining us today in this cold morning. I had such a hard time waking up from bed today.
I had such a hard time too, but waking up this early in the morning, it felt so peaceful with social media off and my phone wasn't buzzing. It made me think about today's topic.
Yes, in the morning it's really peaceful. You want to know why? Because we're not supposed to stress. Actually, Harvard Business Review just published a study where they say that a quarter of all employees in the world today view their job as the number one reason for stress in their lives. And the main cause for stress in the workplace right now is cognitive overload.
So what is this cognitive overload that's causing so much buzz? Well, it's causing in the workplace by the multitasking, by the work overload, and by the technology use. And there's no evident solution for management on how to deal with this for their employees. And so today we're gonna have a couple of experts from IBM, we're gonna have research studies from UC Davis, and from Google and SAP that address how management is dealing with cognitive overload.
In that it is really about man and machine. And I know there's various views about this. And AI can have a loaded set of kind of connotations with it.
Well, destroying the earth, yeah.
And it can, but we're saying, well, more than that, jobs, many other things
I'll be asking if
that
that's the
people
case later.
bring up, that, no, that topic. But I think the point was, it was man and machine. And we get started on this, you know, Kara, it was 2005 when we started our work on this. So we've been at this a good decade now. And it started because we said, look, people are going to be overloaded. There's so much information, this cognitive overload. You've got to do something about it. And that was
Following up, we're gonna contact our reporter, Mr. Singh, to talk with a very select group of specialists that are being sponsored by top companies in the U.S. To try to talk a little bit more about this such important matter.
Today we have Professor Castillo with us from UC Davis with research. So we're going to talk more about cognitive overload. Professor, can you explain more about cognitive overload?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here, Mr. Singh. So, to understand cognitive overload, we have to look at our memory. So our memory has two main parts. You have the working memory and the long-term memory, which you can compare that to a computer. It's the RAM memory and the hard drive. So the importance about the long-term memory is that in the long-term memory we store all the information and all the data we have, like for example, how to ride a bicycle, how to tie your shoelaces, all that is stored there. And the way we access that information is through the working memory. So the issue we're dealing right now is that there's so much information going on in every environment, like social media, for example, your phone, or even publicity everywhere. So what happens is that with all this information going on, our working memory is overworking because we have the limited capacity to process certain information, and that's made through a process called chunking. But we can chunking up to, it's more or less it's expected to 7 units chunking, no more than that.
Right.
So the issues that this brings is that it's eroding a lot of our capacities. So for example, there's been research carried out by Microsoft, and they found out that due to all the consumption of social media, our attention span, which was an average of 12 seconds in 2000, has decreased to 8 seconds in 2013, and that was just in 3 years. And also, they found out that a goldfish span is 9 seconds, so we're going backward as a species, right? So, and also other thing that is pretty important is that when you're processing information, if you're not putting attention on that, the way you process information is going to be misunderstood. So you're going to have small pieces of information which is not important, it's not relevant, and it's not related. And also, all this overload is causing an impediment on thinking.
Right.
So, for example, another research carried out by it was more a poll, but it was carried out by the Trending Machine, and they found out that persons from 18 to 34 years old tend to be more forgetful than senior citizens. Which I mean, with the elasticity you have in your brain at that age, you should have a better memory than senior citizens. So what we have to start analyzing is what's happening right now. And that's very important in the workplace, right? Because performance is being reduced due to all this information getting into our brains. And companies are not dealing with this problem right now. Some companies, very small amount of companies, have taken a step forward and have invested in trying to find solutions to this issue.
Right.
So what is important to remember of all of this is that using or consuming too much information is not being healthy for our brains.
Definitely.
And so we have to learn how to select important information that is in our environment and how to process it in a specific way that will increase our performance and it would make us better.
Definitely. Okay, so thank you, Professor, for your precious time, and hope we see you soon.
Well, thank you very much too, and I hope I could clear all your doubts about the topic.
So now I'm with the research team of UC Davis, which was led by our professor from UC Davis again. And what do you guys have the solution for cognitive overload?
So we know there's immense pressure on people in terms of workloads because they handle information and work with people across different disciplines and across different places around the globe. and so that means that technology is constantly following us everywhere. Ironically, it's the technology companies that have had these management solutions. For example, Google has employees take courses to sharpen their attention and
Right.
in order to improve their performance. They have a curriculum which is just around self-mastery. And not only have these technology companies have dealt with how to improve mentally, but also physically.
According to our research carry on with Harvard about cognitive overload, we found out that physical training is really helpful to reduce cognitive overload because it is produce neurochemical in people's brain, which is body natural painkiller. It helps people focus more on everything, give people the feeling of energetic. And today we see a lot of company like Tata industry and even sugar drinks company like Coca. They offer health and fitness service to their employee, which is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, not only that, but even in the German company SAP, which is they call it the global technology company, and it's known for no nonsense. They're very German. They actually sponsor mindfulness ambassadors. They don't like calling it meditation though. They call it
Yeah.
attention training in order
Wow.
because they
Attention
think
training.
mindfulness is too touchy feeling.
Right.
And this definitely helps the employees with the cognitive
Yeah.
overload inside the institute. Although management still has to deal with to overcome and to encourage these solutions.
Thank you guys for your precious time and hope we see you soon.
So today was very interesting. I had no idea about the impact cognitive overload had on management in the organization. So I thought it was very insightful.
Yes, it's actually a really important matter, and just now companies started addressing it. It took them too long, but we're hoping that this research group can come up with a solution. And following the following news, we are kicking it back to South Carolina